Okay, so we just dabbled in now, attendance. Terry Warner. Here. Matthew McGovern.
Here.
Maury Domingo.
Here.
Mike McFlatt.
Here.
Yay. And Sam Houston Clinton.
Here.
All right, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the United States, one nation under God, one and indivisible. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, one, Catherine Glaze.
So in reading the, I'm Catherine Glaze, and I live at 403 Northwest River Road. And in reading the agenda, I noticed that 1.1 and 1.2 have the budget year ending September 30th, 2025.
Oh,
And-
you're right, that is not a good thing.
And so I think it would be highly inappropriate to proceed with this meeting tonight. Because you could be opening up the city to a lawsuit. And any actions done tonight would not count. So if you recall the January 9th planning and zoning meeting, when we made that error, it resulted in an employee losing his job. And so there could be consequences. So just wanted to make that public comment.
Thank you, I appreciate that public comment, because I had not realized that, but, Mrs. Attorney, would you please weigh in on that?
Sure, I can weigh in with just the council, or I could weigh in with everyone. I would recommend weighing in with just the council.
Okay,
But,
that's fine. We can do a quick closed
Yeah.
session? Okay, then, I think I need to gavel us out.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I gavel us out of the open meeting.
Yes, ma'am, it will be 551071.
At 6:47.
At 6:47.
Sorry, I hope it's not too hot out there.
Hold on.
Working on it.
Yeah.
No one else is on Zoom.
Working on it.
Thank you, sorry. I just reminded you, my apology.
I think that's not the right one, but I just printed some.
Hold it, hold it.
She's gonna do it on Zoom.
Muted. Y'all still there? Just lost them. No, I'm in there. I just. Is he in here? Not now.
You have to say that in the main recording,
And you can say what?
they're down hold back.
No, she usually say we're back open.
Okay, I don't start over.
No, you just say we're back open.
All right then, thank you for your patience and, we are on to we don't have any more public comment. Okay, that was it. Then we are on to item 1.1 new business. A motion to adopt the 25-26 fiscal year proposed budget beginning October 1, 2025 and ending September 30th as corrected 2026. I guess, do we have a motion first and then we can have discussion on that?
I'd actually recommend going through it first, but.
Okay. That's fine.
So we can bring everyone up to speed.
Yeah, I thought there was one thing we needed to bring up to Chauncey, I forget. Oh, it was.
It was the ending, so,
No,
No, are we allowed to talk about specific to the budget? No, we didn't.
yeah.
So
I would hope so.
there was the charge that we were considering as a long-term capital, expense, and we were going to use it there or not. And Matthew, as I recall, we had said that we wanted to bring that up to the broader council.
So we have to go back, because there was when we made the correction, that table correction, that made the deficit much bigger than Laura originally thought. So the deficit, as I emailed earlier, is roughly 60,000, I'm going off my head, so here. It's roughly 60,000. The current expense data shows 707. And the revenue is,
647, what it was?
no, it's, 707, yeah, 647, I think. Something like that. So we still have a little,
My version, which should be your version, still has 30.
they haven't updated the, when you made the change on the table, on the payroll table, but you have to change it on the actual, raw data. And then do a refresh.
Do it anyway, I'm pretty sure I did that while you were talking. Let me just do it again.
No, it doesn't come up on that, that's. And then 637 is the income.
And that is. One. Very, very good. Okay.
I'm not,
I've got that in here online.
table that the way you have to say it set up, it doesn't break down, just doesn't let us look at just the, utility funds. I mean, just the general funds, the way they get, well, if I change this. It won't change it, I'm not letting this one.
Yeah, that didn't change my outcome. When I changed, when I
So what is your total expense for the general fund?
total expense, general operating. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see.
When you send us business everything. it at 671, where before I had it at 700.
General operating fund, 707
Okay, yeah, now we're.
465.19.
Okay, so in your expense data table, there's still an error in the budget projections in line N3 and N4 are not
There,
going to the right place, because Jared originally had those linked over to the payroll. You got C27,
we go to
C28,
what?
you don't have all the payroll in here.
But what are you saying, where are you saying it's missing?
Shit. Yeah, this hasn't been corrected. If I may. If I may. Something like right there, and the one where we. That, then if you go to expense out, the old one. I don't think. On ours, it shows it's not there. The one I just downloaded.
Here, should be this one.
I'm opening it in the attachment. From earlier today.
And that one should be this one.
Well, I don't have that one because. I don't have, that was not emailed to me. I only have the one from 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it doesn't really show up on the iPad.
What does it show up on here?
I need
It
the
doesn't
tabs.
break it down.
Tabs, we can't pull the tag.
Yeah, it only shows a part of it.
I can't on my computer. It's like it's got some kind of link protection on it, that's
Yeah.
not letting everything show.
I show total expenses should be 707.
Yeah, that's what I have.
You have that? Where?
Oh, that's.
You just have to set up the views differently. Can't pull it, I can only pull it up on here, I can't pull it up on here. So we have 707 is our expenses and 637 is our. Excuse me, 637 is the revenue, and 707 is the expenses right now. Yeah, or 70,000 over what?
Or under.
Mine is.
It's brown here, and then you can just.
Okay, so.
When I hit on the tabs, it still didn't bring it up. See, when I hit on the tab, it stays blank.
Go to a different tab.
Up and down. So where is that up on somewhere?
Which one is that, sewer?
Yeah, I tried all of them, it just doesn't. TDS rates, solid waste. Payroll.
He's talking about expense data and revenue data.
So we have the gross amount, right? Thank you, Mayor.
That, yeah, it's not populating even though the thing is showing.
Oh, wait,
Oh, yes, it is, just scooch over to the side, but.
and then it pops, it's weird, if you go back to the far.
So these are two
Column
different-
A, and then go back to the out again, it'll populate, it just did.
Yeah. They're different, kind of like this part, you move it to look at the top, And then once you select it, you have to go back. To the very start of the chart.
And then you can go back over to the right, okay?
Fair enough, thank you.
Which tab?
Expense data.
He's looking at expense data and revenue data.
This
Okay.
takes a while.
Alright, so we have, my apologies, so we're at 70,000 is the rough number within a couple $100 is.
But I don't, that's not on mine.
You just said the revenue was 637 and the expenses are 707.
Or 647, no?
How do we get to 647?
When you get to the entire expenses minus the entire, I mean, the revenue minus expenses, though, it only comes up to 30,618,
If not, if you just look at the general fund,
right?
you're only looking at the general fund. Otherwise, you're shading income in special revenue taxes. Like parks and stuff of that nature.
But if I didn't change anything, and these numbers were already corrected to what we met the other day, then I don't know where you're coming up with the additional amount.
That's what I was telling you, that we had when you updated these after that meeting,
No. Mm-mm.
that one payroll was not in the previous when you first said it was balanced.
Yes, and we fixed it during that meeting, and I haven't changed those since then, and
We're still off 70,000.
I don't think it is.
Well, what is your total expenses? I can't see that and it's not letting me do that for now. Yeah, 707. Total expenses is 707. In the spreadsheet, not going over the revenue. Is there a table for revenue total? So what are we down here?
Revenue data.
Revenue data, I think, but
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's right underneath the revenue table. Is the revenue pivot table, and it has 648, 464.
You have 648, and that's 10 more than you had. Let me see where that is.
I thought we were at 647 of us. So that's 1,000 more, I think.
Yeah,
I'm just going by the one I got this morning. Earlier at 4 o'clock.
They click on it and go all the way back from that.
Yeah, the table, the table version. Tables. Could you
they're
email
on,
this to
they're on
me?
moorings. Pivot tables are on moorings.
Can you email this to me? Please? Yeah, the best one. We'll take no break there.
Do you want me to break down the, total revenue into, to figure out where the 1,000 is?
The 10,000 that my brain doesn't wrap around. So. Oh, you raised,
Let me raise whatever y'all told me the other day, because I don't know anything about all that. About the different calculations for 3.5% versus 1.5%, and what do we think it's gonna be? I only changed whatever y'all told me to change.
This isn't there. Can you show me where, let me see, I'm gonna put it on the screen then, I'll catch up. Can you show me the revenue, general fund revenue table up there? Please,
Yeah, go down. Scroll down on revenue.
No, just.
Over, back over.
Gee. No.
Yeah.
Not really you did.
So that's expense, you're in fund, we need to go to revenue. Thank you.
Alright, now go down.
G row 91.
There you go. That, now switch over a little more so we can see the FY 26. There it is, right there. What kind of breakdown do you want, cause I can make it in a heartbeat.
That's the way it was before, the one you sent me earlier, had broken.
Then look to the left of there, Liana, cause everything I had is still on here. How do you want it broken down? By special revenue, by general revenue account,
Just general, I
activities?
just want to, I'm looking for the general revenue, so I'm sorry. I can't
The
find it.
general revenue total is on the sheet that Deanna just had. That one that she's got on right now.
Okay, one second.
It's 648, 464, 12.
This is right there.
Scoot over a little to the left, I mean to the right, Deanna, so you can see 26.
She has to go with that.
There you go.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Alright, 648. Figure it out.
Did you, Deanna, did you send him a copy of what you have so that he can pull it up on his laptop?
Thank you.
I'm gonna send it to, Martin Doe, okay?
Yeah, okay, so we're at 59, which was my, I think was my number before, so it must be right, so I apologize for the circle. So that's my number from over there, so.
I Googled that term, cause I didn't know what it meant.
Circle jerk?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, do that. What I read.
Probably not the best conversation in the middle of a recorded council meeting. Let's just,
that question.
let's just.
I already did.
Just, y'all, let's move on. All right, so what do we need to look at?
We're good, we're at a deficit of 59.
So. What part of the budget would you like to discuss?
Alright,
I will, yeah, tee up the question I had before, which was when we were discussing this last, Matthew, Mayor and I. There were some expenses that it seemed we could charge as, that were appropriate to be long-term capital expenses. And we could use money that's in a fund termed long-term capital. Then that would reduce the 60,000 approximate deficit by some, was it 20,000-ish?
Well, the final budget for the computers was 6,000, right? So it's 26. So the city.
Well, it's fire hydrants and the computers by 26. So that would take the deficit down to 34 if we used available long-term capital money to pay for that.
So the roof money came out, so basically the long-term capital improvement fund, as I understood it, was Jared would pitch to council to put some of the surplus money in the last 4 or 5 years and fund that and then use that, Dwayne, for various
Computers,
computers and
like this, we spent $30-something,000 last year replacing all the computers when we hired the new IT firm.
so.
And so the fire hydrants are certainly a long-term capital asset, computers
Wait,
are generally.
we didn't replace all of the computers last year. It had to have been a
Well,
couple of
maybe
years
all
ago.
is not a right word, but
Cause we're
the
having to replace
servers,
them now.
the servers were replaced, mine was replaced, I don't know
Anyway,
who else.
I will say that that's,
So we-
that's sort of next door to this question. We've got money that is long-term capital money. We've got the fire hydrants, which are certainly a long-term capital expense. We've got the computers, which are also considered to be a long-term capital expense. That's 26,000. If we use that money that was set aside for long-term, for this purpose, that would reduce our deficit down by 26,000, so that would put us down at a deficit of 34,000. And we decided that we would want to get the input of the rest of council, on that opportunity.
Does everyone understand that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense to reduce the deficit. And I mean, there are other things I would assume you guys talked about too, to reduce.
We did, I believe this budget doesn't have the whole remodel,
Yeah, we cut that
So
out, that was
we
50,
removed-
and we cut that entirely out.
about 35,000 of that, for example. So yeah, we did cut a lot of expenses, and we scrubbed all the revenue that we could. So,
Well, I'm gonna say that you have a much better understanding of all this than I do. So if you're saying that that's what we need to do, then I agree with that.
It's a normal,
It makes sense to me.
if this happened during the middle of the year, like the roof, that is where the money
that's how we behave.
would, I mean, that's why we were able to do the roof without redoing the budget. Cause in theory, we can't just spend the money, unless we modify the budget. We didn't need to modify the budget because there is that money, in that fund. That fund is obviously gonna be, it was at, 46, and then Dwayne, you wrote a check for 13, I think you said the other day out of that.
Yeah, it's 33,167 today.
So there's 33,000 in that account right now. And at the end of this fiscal year, which is tomorrow, or the day after, whatever, and everything is done, if there is a surplus, then we would, by pattern, if you would, refill that account. So if there is a surplus, we've been running the surplus I know for the last 3 or 4 years. And that's where the money, some of the money has gone into that for that purpose. So it is a normal action, process for the city to do that. And as a rule of thumb, that's what I would do if I ran a business, that's how I run a business too.
That makes sense.
Unless I wanted to write off the whole thing, but we don't pay taxes, so.
Mike, you have any thoughts on this?
I'm just listening. That all sounds good to me.
So that would,
Yeah, I mean, now that I know how much is remaining in the long-term capital improvement fund after you have taken some out, we still have surplus, it seems like, and is it sort of like amortizing it where you're spreading it out over a certain number of years, or is it just all paid for out of a separate fund? Paid for out of a separate fund.
So basically, you run a surplus and you just put it in, it's not in the emergency fund like we would run, like we have right now, or, we have a tax problem, all of a sudden we weren't able to get taxes that the government shut down, that's why you have an emergency fund. Federal government's gonna get shut down in a couple days. You know what, you better have some extra money to keep going payroll on the local level if you need it, if you're waiting on that. So that's what that money is, I understand it's for. This is for long-term capital improvements.
Yeah.
So this is assets, it has to be efficient, it's not
These
meant
are
for,
two long-term assets.
yeah, it's not meant for paying someone or, things of that ilk. This is for, improvements, so obviously those qualify, and we have been using those. I think kind of quietly, whether you've been on council and understood it,
You're good?
we've been doing it that way.
All right, so everybody's in favor of this.
Yes.
And we do have a surplus coming this year,
Yeah, it looks like at least $15,000.
so it's gonna take that fund.
That fund's gonna get a little narrow.
So that's done, so now the deficit's at $26,000 deficit,
Okay, 59 minus 26.
23. 59 minus 23, 33.
Thank you.
Yeah, 30, sorry. So $33,000. And now the question is, are we good with that, or? The other thing we discussed is that, you set up a budget and reality is different. So for example, this year we're running a surplus, even though we put in a budget that was balanced at the beginning of the year. Our reality as we go through the year could be different. And Matthew, the other thing we discussed is, the deductions that have been coming out of our sales tax and not being able to get the precise numbers, but believing somewhere halfway through the end of the year, we were gonna get, those were gonna, at least one part of those were gonna stop.
That's the law. It's a tit for tat, so we overextended our interest. I did some more analysis on the interest. We increased the interest projection from 25 to, I think we settled at 32.5. I think it's a little high, it just really, we don't know. In about 2 or 3 months, we're gonna know. I expect it to drop, and we're at 4.2% in the savings. It's gonna drop 0.25%. They're basically running it right off the 10, just to smidge it off the 10 year, and the 10 year is gonna keep dropping with, the Fed dropping it. Barry kind of recommended doing a 3.5%. Probably on an average, it might be that. We hope it stays high like that. We're gonna have a little bit of a dip in our savings here by spending some money, but 32.5 is pushing it, I think. Last year, I over expected it to make something get funded, and now we're short. Not by as much as I thought we might be, but because the Fed didn't drop the rates quite as fast as we all thought they would. But we were short on that fund by over $5,000 in income. So we kind of overinflated that. We probably,
So they may offset.
they might, I think that's what you and I were talking about. We're gonna be within like $3,000 to $4,000 is my best guess. If we were to, throw a number at on a dartboard, I think we'd
So is
like to be higher.
what you're saying, if we keep the budget the way it is now, we're running at a deficit, but as time goes on and rates change and different stuff, that it's possible that we may not be at a deficit.
It would be worse.
We would probably still be at a deficit.
Cause first you said we had a surplus, then you said we're running at a deficit, so that's the part, so I guess it's in
No, I'm sorry.
the
Last
actual.
year we ran it.
Okay,
Last year.
so you're talking about last year, this year,
year's
no,
budget, right, no,
Okay.
projects a $33,000 deficit.
and that sounds horrible to me.
Yeah, so the reason we brought up last year's is last year's surplus will help refill the tank of the long-term capital fund that we're gonna take the 26 out of. Okay, so right now we're at 33, we took 26 out, we don't have a lot in there. And we're hoping to get 15 or so $1,000 to refill that. That still puts that account at a very low level historically. It has always, lately, in the last 4 or 5 years, it's been over $40,000. So it's definitely gonna be much lower than it's been. But that is the creative way of trying to making step one to balance the budget.
Well, how did we spend so much more money when we have, there's several employees that we're not paying anymore? I mean, it seems like that should have,
That's why we have a surplus.
right,
We have a surplus because of payroll, and every year, in my understanding, what little experience I have in the last 3 or 4 years looking at the budget is, you budget for X amount of employees and there's a transition, someone's not here, and then it takes a couple of months to fill the position. The city basically is setting aside, it's making money, they're still finding a way to do the work, but there is, strain on other staff, but the city is in theory, has a lower expense, which means they're making, they have a surplus. You create a balanced budget. Every year we've done this to some degree in the last couple this year, this is gonna be one of the smallest surpluses ever, and mostly because the sewer plant had a lot of work done this year, a lot of work.
well, and how much did we spend paying, like, for all the help, since we didn't have Bobby and we didn't have,
Well, that's not even in the budget, so.
That's not for next year's budget. Like,
yeah, that's,
like the reason, yeah, our deficit is just based on what is happening next year. It doesn't have anything to do with this year.
But by next year, won't we have hired people
Yes,
to fill those positions, so we
Yeah.
won't have that surplus?
right, that's why we're gonna have a deficit instead.
yeah, because our payroll has gone up significantly. It's not a little, it's
So
significant.
that's where I'm confused, I guess, because how did our payroll go up so much when
Well, it hasn't gone up, it's budgeted to go
It's
up.
budgeted.
it's budgeted to go up? Okay.
Yeah, so we hire a city manager, we go from, budgeting Jared at 10 hours a week at $35 and now all of a sudden you're budgeting someone at 25 hours or 24 hours at $50 an hour. You know, you're going from
Well, did we decide that that's what it was gonna be?
No,
I mean,
that's what we're discussing. No, that's what that is,
that's all what we're talking
that-
about,
that
is
is-
how
that
do we
is-
balance our
So
budget,
the-
so
the-
some things
Gotcha.
we need to go up, some things
so
we need to go down.
the big,
Gotcha.
there's only a handful of, the biggest expense we have is payroll.
Yes,
Just like not even close. So the payroll, based on the recommendations that we have
Plus,
now.
but it's not only that,
Just make-
because it is also like utility clerks, one for the courts and one for the utilities itself. That we did not have last year, and we moved Deanna up, so when she got a promotion, she got a couple dollars raise, so there's that. So it's not,
I don't remember approving a raise, I just remember that we moved her to the.
everybody moved because Jared he did that, he focuses it up by 3% on the, whatever it is.
This is not from the recent promotion she got.
Okay,
So this, regardless of all of that, if we're gonna operate at a full capacity for all of the staff that are needed to do the work, it's going to cost more, a lot more, because we've had almost nobody here. So by the time you add all of those people, that's where our personnel goes up.
yeah, I understand that.
In some cities, they actually budget for the fact that not all positions are filled all year. They get creative in it. Say, well, you're probably only gonna be, 80% staffed or something. But we budgeted the full amount.
Yeah, it's always prudent to attempt to do it because we've had, as an example, the sales tax, payback destroyed us 2 years ago. The last year made it, it's still impacting us, but, when all of a sudden you have to get back, $1,500 a month, So
That's
we've
a
had,
lot of money at the end of the year.
we've had one, fire thrown in the, grenade thrown in the pit every single year since I've been here almost. So, but that happens everywhere. There's always something you don't know where it's coming from, so,
The other thing that we're working on right now is Maury drafted an amazing letter to one of our representatives to open a conversation about trying to not have to pay back the remainder on the speed trap
Controller,
stuff. And, well, the letter's not to the comptroller. it's
such a
to the-
payment.
yeah, so if we're able to do that, that's, like, I think our balance is somewhere around 257,
246
246.
as of August. Just
So
under 250, broke the 250.
that's a significant improvement if we're able to do that, but that's again an if. And then, like Matthew was saying, if we are able to complete our payments on the property tax issue, then that's also going to be more income that's coming in. And there was a third thing that wasn't, it was the property taxes for those properties down there as they sell.
No, okay, so the Lanzola property, when you rezone from, ag to, R1 in this case, there's a 4-year look back where they're supposed to pay, and we don't know if we've really received that money.
So it's been over a year now for them. The other 25 lots won't go into effect. They go into effect this year, so they won't see it, we won't see that for another year. But it'll be a 4-year look back, they'll have to pay at the new rate. So whatever the appraised rate of those lots are, instead of being appraised at, as you know, Sam, ag exempt is appraised at 2,000 an acre or some silly ridiculous number. And now it's gonna be appraised at, half acre lots will be at least $150,000, $200,000. So, and they'll have 25 lots on that. So this, we're talking, tens of thousands potentially of dollars on that, that the city will get. I don't know if we've received, I think we've received the money on the other lot, because what I think happened is that they appraised it initially at a really, really low number on the first year. And, last year we received more money. You made a comment once like, oh, we went over on our collection. Some people must have paid.
Yeah,
And
Not in
we
this
were
year,
over. That was last year.
Not this year.
Yeah, but it would have been last year. It would have been last year because it'd been 2 years, so,
How do we not know? How do we not know? Like, is
I don't see those, I don't,
it just anonymously donated at some point, or how do we not know?
we get a report that tells us like gross amounts that have gone up. It doesn't tell us lot by lot. But of new properties
Mhm.
are listed, there's a page of saying, here are your new properties.
But we don't
But,
have that many properties, right? Like that are new, that
No,
would be new
but these will
properties, so
be.
wouldn't we be able to see on a piece of paper? Oh, look, here's new properties, and we would kind of be able to estimate, these are the new properties we have.
I would think we could, I mean, we've had to give development permits to them, and, I mean, we know
well, I
what
looked
they
at
are.
the 11 on the river are all current, they're all paying the assessed value from the previous year to this year went up 40-something%. It was significant on every one of them. So,
Mhm.
what I'm hypothesizing is that when they did the conversion, there was no improvements at that time. The appraisal district came in at a very low rate. And the 4-year look back wasn't a significant amount because we had gone over budget on revenue received that year on total property taxes. That was the first year we'd gone over.
Mhm.
That was 2 years ago. We were like at 102%. Normally,
Over what we estimated.
over
the
what
year
the,
before.
or what the city.
Over
what
the
county-
actual levy.
Yeah, with the count, yeah, it was over the levied amount.
Okay.
So the county says, like this number, they say, you're gonna get 404, and then we got 410 or 415 or 420 or something like that. And normally, if you have 404, we were discussing the other day, your actual expectations is probably somewhere around 97%. They don't all pay, there's always a late, and then,
We're at 99% this year.
so.
Wow. But see, this isn't that year, so.
So this was the previous tax year.
Right, that's why I'm saying if we're at 99% this year, then why are we assuming we got it last year?
Cause we were over last year, we were like 102, 103% last year. The previous fiscal year, we were over 100, well over 100%. Cause I remember Twain saying it like, that hasn't never happened.
Yeah,
I was like, so, I mean, I can, like I said, we can have a conversation, we talk to Matthew down at the appraisal district and say, to verify, check that box, or we'd have to go through the report, Dwayne, and verify, those addresses. We can give you the list of the addresses and see what they paid, but I don't see it in the CAD. The CAD doesn't show, that they paid a back tax, it doesn't show that.
And I wonder, do they pay those when they're converted, or is it not paid until they're sold?
No, it's converted. Once they get a development agreement and they get to the year that they do make the new PID, it goes into effect for the next year, and then they're paying on that year at the end of the year.
January 1st,
Yeah, so it's,
the value goes up and then the taxes are effective with.
so it's if I did it right now, it goes into effect next year is the new rate. They don't prorate the middle of the year, they just start at the beginning of the year.
So with the deficit that we decreased, for the fiscal year, are we anticipating well, when do we pay off the other sales tax amount? You know, we've got the that was a two-year, payment on that one. But maybe we can, I mean, it concerns me because then I guess though maybe halfway through the year, then would we have to start trying to figure out where to make the cuts of that 23,000, or would we hope that maybe we get more sales tax to offset that, or?
Discuss using the emergency fund for a one-time.
Oh, use it then to make
Yeah,
up
I
for
mean,
that.
there's, how much money is in the emergency fund? There were two.
Well, I don't think the emergency fund is really what you mean. You mean the general fund overflow.
Overflow.
Yes, the over.
How much is in the?
That's accumulated. General fund overflow is, $214,000.
Oh, well, that's enough. Let's start spending.
So in other words, if we get to the end of next year,
You get a car,
Instead of
you get
having-
a car.
instead of having a surplus that we might end up pushing to the capital fund, like we're talking about doing this year, we could end up with a deficit and have to pull some funds from the overflow. Just like,
And, I mean,
and you could,
correct me if I'm wrong, but as things go with economics, like some years, you get to put stuff into your capital improvement plan because it's surplus, and some years you have a deficit. And part of this is what I started out when we first started talking about the budget for this year, but I was saying, number one, this year we really need to do an entire study of our own utilities, because we actually make money on the trash collection, solid waste, and we do not have a sewer system that is self-sufficient. We need to go back and really study that and get that system up going, because if you remember, last year we spent a lot on replacing pumps and expensive $30,000 things for the sewer system, because we don't have that system at a point where it's self-sufficient. The courts are not self-sufficient, and they are doing what they can through that collection group they just started with to try to fix that. And then last of all, we're gonna have to bite the bullet and raise the rate above this very bottom line rate, which there's an email from one of our residents who is extremely well qualified to make financial assessments, and he was saying, I don't know, 5 years ago, there is absolutely no way for the city to continue to only do the voter approval rate and ever end up with enough money in the budget to be able to do roads or expand our sewer system or do any of the things that all of the residents here have as a huge priority. Nobody wants to see taxes raised, obviously. Nobody wants that. But there is no way that you can keep your taxes at the very bottom rung rate and get all of our roads done. That's how cities do those things. So part of it is we're trying to do more than we can do. If hiring a full staff means that we're over budget, that says something.
Well, the full staff is determined by us, so we determine what full staff is. We're increasing payroll, as you know, quite significantly, based on budget recommendations that you have here. You know, the previous one was much lower, as you know,
Yes, I do.
and that is, we're over $50,000 more
Yes, we are.
in base pay. We're not counting benefits, which
in this case is actually another $24,000.
And we will have to pay that to anyone.
So we have a basic, the budget surplus or to deficit is basically payroll. If you wanna, it could be, you could say it's, you know, you could say
You could say that.
it's just a
You
100%.
could say that it's other things, like I just did.
Yeah, there, yeah.
It's
Be
arguable.
careful how I'm saying it.
It is arguable.
Be careful how I'm saying it.
Fairly
But
fair.
it's in the same realm of numbers. So that's basically what we're doing. We're trying to meet the mayor's requirement or request by increasing the staff. We either run a deficit or we have to cut other things, or we have to do a combination of things to tweak the payroll, so it does not get to that level. So we're at 33, you know, we can balance the budget if we want to, we're gonna piss some people off, but we could balance the budget. That is definitely a possibility. You all know exactly what that means. And it'd be a combination of, either reducing benefits or reducing pay hours, or some combination thereof to make it work. And that's the only other suggestion. I entertain anyone's thoughts on that, but I'm a big proponent of trying to balance the budget. I mean, I wish I knew the answer on the sales tax. I feel a whole lot better about a lot of things if I knew the answer on that. But I don't have one. I just don't. So right now, I do believe that we have a true $30+ thousand deficit in this budget. I'm be honest with you, not happy with it.
I don't think anybody's happy. We're all in agreement.
You want a deficit, Sam, or you don't?
I think we can work it out about mid-year. You would hope that hopefully with a creative new city administrator or someone to help us figure out how to balance things out, or maybe increase our sales tax revenue, that would hopefully change and we would get more income coming in. But I know now that 20% of our sales tax goes to the comptroller for the tickets, but what more of the percentage rate of our sales tax is going towards the other expense? Or do we know that? Do we know when we pay monies out, oh, it's all just one deduction, say? Do we know, Dwayne, when something is, we're paying sales tax out to two separate funds, say, do we know the difference about when we whittle the one thing down or the other, or is 20% just taken off the top?
Well, 20% of it it's kind of hard to explain, but 20% of it is designated to streets. It's not really deducted. We just internally designate it. And then 20% of it is taken to pay this $245,000 debt that we are trying to get forgiven.
Yes.
And then roughly $1,900 a month is being deducted until we pay out off the $2,000 adjustment from the business that was deemed out of the city limits. And that $1,900, we estimated in our discussions the other day, will pay off sometime this year. I think we decided they first started taking money out June a year ago. So now we're September. So sometime 3/4 of the way through this coming fiscal year, they should stop keeping that money.
Well, that'll help some. So then we'll start to see a little more increase in our sales tax revenue.
Yes.
About June or so, and that'll be June, that's halfway through the fiscal year.
It's 2/3 of the way.
Yeah, 2/3.
2/3, okay.
That's the $1 million. We know it's gonna end sometime. I know it's supposed to end sometime in this next fiscal year. But no one knows, no one's found the file that says when it happened.
So it seems like the big lever here is, the, property tax increase that, you know, we missed the timeframe on for this year. And how much, remind me how much money that was raised for the raise the rate?
It's
50,000, okay. So if council is willing to pass the higher property tax rate, then this would be a one, even if you kept expenses at the same amount, this would be a one-time deficit that would pull from the emergency fund. Because if we make the property tax change, then we would flip to a $17,000 surplus.
That's another council. Okay, sure.
Yeah, cause.
That'd be the next council.
Right, so we may not do
That's another council.
it.
I've learned, that one thing I've learned, it's another council.
Well, I don't understand why we would run at a deficit if we can balance the budget. I don't understand why we would do that.
All right, how would we do that?
And then just kind of wait and see.
Yeah.
How can we do it? Look at the numbers and tell us. Yes, I'm willing. Let me hear this.
What could we do?
Wait, what? No, we were asking you. Oh,
Hello, can I speak?
stop that.
My,
Matthew probably knows exactly, because he said payroll. I mean, there's lots of other stuff that's in the budget that we can take out.
no, there isn't.
Well, maybe not a lot,
So if
but
we
there's a
wanna-
couple
so
of
if
things.
if we wanna work on balancing the budget, we need
And-
to start
and
identifying areas to offset the deficit.
Can
I'm
I
smart
speak?
enough to fault someone.
Yeah, sorry, Mike, I didn't hear you.
I've been on council for 7 years and we have never, ever run into a deficit. I think it's a mistake. We don't want to go down that path, in my opinion. We've never run a deficit before, as long as I've been in office. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. So what are the candidates for finding 33,000?
In my opinion, there's only two. One is a total revamp of the, employee structure, the payroll structure, which I know the mayor will be vehemently against, and I understand why.
Vehemently.
Vehemently. Vehemently. I'm not an English major.
Definitely would be extremely.
I are an engineer, as I used to say.
But go ahead, please.
But that would be, do something of the structure to change that. Right now, we have the, city manager coming in for 25 hours at $50 an hour with benefits.
Let's drop him down to 20. Then he is winner of the thing.
We can do something, obviously, to change the hours or negotiate something either we don't provide healthcare, we 1099 them, there's other ways to handle it.
You just said the other day, you told Maury that's not the way you would run your own business.
No, I did not.
Yes, it did.
Contractor.
You said that wouldn't work because whenever he leaves, 6 months or a year or whenever, you're gonna have to replace him and pay that person benefits. Well, cause the person that we're trying to hire, we already know he doesn't wanna be here very long. Which makes, right, kind of the argument that you made initially was that when you train somebody, it's expensive and then they leave. So he's not even long term. He's gonna be here to train the new person who's gonna stay. That's what he's doing. Do we have a new person? No, we don't, honey. He's coming here. He's gonna learn our system. I don't think we need a person to tell us who to hire. I don't agree with that, but that's just my opinion. I don't think we need a person. Okay. So, what I need is help tomorrow. By the time we go through the process to put out the applications and get all the bids and do all the things and do all the interviewing and then hire someone, that's not gonna be tomorrow. That's gonna take some time. And that person, if we hire another college student to do a job that we need a professional to do, we are gonna keep spending twice as much with the city planners and all of those people, because we don't have anyone who knows how to do it. If you wanna sit down sometime outside of the meeting and talk with Deanna and I about everything that wasn't done by Hobby because he didn't know how. Everything that was done incorrectly, everything we're having to go back and redo, we can talk about that. But for right now, I really, really, really would appreciate it if you could just respect a tiny, tiny bit that I've been sitting here trying to do this job for several months alone.
I don't understand why you're hearing disrespect. All I did was disagree. So I was not in the least bit meaning to be disrespectful. If I don't agree with someone, that's not disrespect.
Okay.
Cause you have the right to your opinion, and I have the right to mine, and I don't,
Absolutely.
if you disagree with me, I don't feel like you're being disrespectful.
Well, that's you, and I appreciate that about you.
Let me say something real quick. I know we had discussions about having Matthew McGovern kind of assist. I don't know what we want to.
Don't go there, please.
No,
That's
no,
not-
we've done it in the past before with the Bunker administration. I think Matthew was willing to do that just as an interim to help. He knows the budget better than anybody. I think he would be good to come for this
Just the
interim.
budget. There's
What?
way more to that job than just the budget.
I think we're kind of stuck in the situation right now. I think we need.
You're not gonna win that one, Mikey.
We lost you for a minute. You said we were stuck in a situation and then you cut out.
He's on mute, it looks like.
Mike, you on mute?
He's talking on mute.
Hey, Mike, you're on mute. You're still on mute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, the Bunker administration did that. The city was almost bankrupt, and they did that. They were doing the city manager's position. And I think if McGovern's willing to do that, I think for right now as an interim, to use him to help get through this little this period of time, and then we can start interviewing people and find somebody part-time like a Jared Deal and go forward with that, because that was very cost effective.
Think right now, the plan that we have in place to have this person to help us on an interim basis is very good and worth the money. Because it has been stated that if we keep having to have the attorneys helping us, which I appreciate a lot, it's gonna end up costing 2 or 3 times more than what we would spend on this guy at $50 an hour.
Sam, how do
So
you
we're
know?
paying 2 people while he's here. We're paying him and we're paying him
Yeah,
to
you
train
don't
someone.
count
So we're paying 2 people. Plus we're planning on giving him
Do you see that in the
benefits.
budget?
Well,
Look at what's
no,
actually in the budget. Look at what's actually in the budget.
Well, what you just said
I don't
is that
care
he
what I
would be
said.
training
What I
someone.
want you to look at is what is in the budget. What numbers are written down in the budget. Look down. Look
Okay,
down.
I want to
Look
discuss this, and I don't agree with the numbers that are in there. We're talking
You
about
don't have to,
payroll.
but you don't see that there
I
are
see
2
it.
people being paid. There's not gonna be 2 people being paid
That
at
is
the
what you
same
just said.
time.
You said,
I don't care. Look at what's written down.
well, how do we know that's not gonna happen?
Because it's not in the budget. Where would the money come from?
I don't know.
Maybe, Terry, you could quit doubting everything I say.
I don't know why you're getting so defensive. We're having a discussion, and if I don't agree, that's okay.
You can disagree all you want, but you don't have to keep saying things like every single meeting now, you go like, well, what if you're not telling GLO this or that, or what if you're not doing
Where
this?
does that even come from?
Because every time I say something, you say, what if you are gonna end up paying them? I just said I'm not paying them.
I was just listening to your discussion, and I took what you said word for word, so
All
I'm
right.
sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, I guess, I'm sorry. Well, I've already offered to knock him down by 5 hours a week, so that is the same as Dwayne in terms of pay and in terms of hours. And that will help.
What would that say?
Yes, we do, as a matter of fact. Under payroll and would save 20 grand. It would be 478, 394.
Say 15.
It would save it down to 478, 394. You can do the math and decide how much that is.
What's the savings on that? Run that now. Yeah, I'm sorry, you said what, 478? 478, and the old was 493? Is that right?
Yeah.
493.
15,000.
So my purchase said.
So we found roughly half of it, right?
Yeah, because now we're down to, it looks like, 692, 695.89 for the, general operating expense data.
So now we're looking for 18K?
That's all.
Okay. Let's look for 18K, where would we find that? Is there any other discretionary?
We could take away the other fourth clerk, that's not 18K, but we could take that, because that position is not filled. The other position is currently filled, we would have to terminate someone, but the fourth clerk is not filled.
I mean, but right now you have the court only open 2 days, you only have the court open 2 days a week.
Right now, it's open 4 days a week.
Okay, if we continue that, we're gonna have to pay for that.
Right, and that's why I've been working with her to find someone else.
So I agree with the pathway that you're going on that, obviously. The pathway is to create benefit, not to create benefits to as many people as possible. Obviously, that's a long-term problem, not a short-term problem.
We could have the court not open 4 days a week.
Do that?
Once they start,
We could get our online thing.
I was gonna say, if we ever get the dang online court payment thing going, then you could have.
I think Darren got that all of them. What is the
No,
problem with
Not
that?
even close.
Is it on the,
Raise your hand.
Go ahead.
briefly as you can, the problem with the court thing, is it,
Ask Dwayne, no one knows.
okay, Dwayne, is it the people that are sitting in this building here?
No,
Inputting the
No.
information?
no, it is not.
It's the company, not.
There is a breakdown between the company and the court.
Okay, so
That's all, but nobody can put a finger on why there's a breakdown.
Can I help with that? I would be willing to help with that.
I've got an email right here from 9 days ago that says, thank you, the below link will direct you to the merchant boarding application. So yeah, let's sit down and see if we can do it ourselves.
Alright. Merchant, meaning that will allow us to take
That,
payments.
yeah, the merchant, you know, the credit card
I do that
part of
with a
that.
couple of my businesses right now, I'm sure that Mackie has too, but,
So you probably have more experience than I do. on that.
I do realize, are you in tomorrow?
No, not till Monday.
okay, are y'all talking about, so my question was, are we talking about inputting court cases for the judge?
No,
We're
we are
talking about
not.
taking payments.
Taking
All we're
payments.
doing,
We're talking about taking
We're trying to
payments.
take payments online instead of having
Okay.
an employee here.
yeah, I think we can do that,
I think we can do that too.
I think we can do that.
So Dwayne, you're not, will you forward me that link?
Yeah.
Cause that way I can at least take a look. I won't make any input, but I'd like to at least take a look at it and see, what it is and what they're asking for. So if 30 days from now, we had an online payment solution, then how many days a week would the court need to be open? 0.
I don't know how many.
I
We'd
know-
have to ask them, but I know that's the majority of what she does, but the other
Is
piece,
process payments?
the majority is that, but the other piece that's very time intensive for her in particular is that process of getting all of those old file cases that these bounty
Collectors are
hunters
going
are
after?
going after, the collectors. That has been a big challenge for
Okay.
her, because she's trying to do all of the current paperwork and do the back
And the
paperwork.
current paperwork are payments that are being processed?
It's not just the payments, but it's been getting all of the paperwork organized for whoever has to come in on the 1 Tuesday a month when we have court. Like, they have to have, like, the judge wants copies of the video from when they were pulled over, and they want all of
There's
the
a logistic-
forms, and certain stuff has to go to the state, and certain stuff has to be mailed, and then it has to be on a 10-day timeline, and then you have to follow up with this, and then you have to follow up with that. So it's
So if
that
we had
kind
a-
of stuff.
It's slightly different. If we had our online payment system functional,
Mhm.
how much could we save in hours that we're currently paying the clerk? Or how much would we save by not hiring?
Probably that second person.
I think we could do it with one person.
How
To
much
be
is-
honest,
Yeah.
what I think is that a person who is, how do you say that? Just to say, regardless of age, someone who might be more, tech savvy.
I get you.
Because what a lot of,
Okay.
the judge's goal is to get everything online. And so
Good idea.
what is happening is right now, this person that's working has to deal with all the paper that is currently going out and get this full paper in so that it can be all online and then get the online payments online. And so I think
With
there,
the system the way it is, if we eliminated this, how much is in the budget for the second person? Because I just heard, we might,
Not that much.
hold on. It is for the court clerk, $17 and no,
No, it's 13.6.
there you go. Oh, yes, 13.6.
13.6.
Plus
So-
taxes or.
No, that's the far right number, that,
Yeah.
the mayor's got all everything in there now, unemployment, everything.
Yeah,
No, she's got everything in there,
So-
some of the stuff that was missing before.
Okay, so if council's good with this and the mayor's good with this, I will commit to work with Dwayne to as quickly as possible get online payments functioning for the court,
wonderful.
which will cut another 13.6 out of the budget. So now we're down to $5,000, 4.444 is $5,000.
If, Mayor, if you update yours with that and give us a real number, then that would be okay.
Yeah.
And then, cause I think it's even less than we think.
So, it's just crazy in this day and age to
You know, it would, I mean, you know, we talked about that with Catherine from, you know, it took 2 years to change to the judge to make that happen. You know, just even have the discussion.
Now,
and then
but now we
do it
got a judge who
internally.
sounds like.
Oh, no, he's
leaning
great.
into this. and
No, no,
it's hey,
he's
let's do
like,
it.
he's been doing it for 20 odd years and,
Yeah,
you know,
so
he
let's
does
just do it. And I'll work with Dwayne, and I'll work with the judge, and we'll get this figured out. And I also think what I heard you say is that, there might be opportunities for efficiency in the rest of the way that group organization's working.
What
I
about,
think we ought to address that.
what about the utility clerk helping with just the filing aspect of, we had left over
Or-
utility work? Not the,
Fortunately, we hired the new utility clerk
the new DM.
is overqualified. So she, as soon as she gets all of this under her belt, what she's learning now, which will be like in 5 minutes, but she's really quick at learning. She will be, we will need to give her more to do to keep her here and active and not bored with her job. So as she gets going, I would love to see her take on more responsibility because she can.
Is capable,
She
yeah.
has the bandwidth for that.
Yeah.
So it's possible that like give her a minute to figure out her job and then maybe she can help with scanning it in or help with getting the videos figured out or
And
whatever.
that was always the thought process with Jared, was trying to create a bullpen, if you will, of staff that would, you know, have a certain level of capabilities and be able to do multiple tasks, and when one person was out, there's always a cover too, you know, you having multiple.
Having that payment thing handled, I think will be a big piece of it because I do think that according to the staff, that was a big problem and Jared told me straight up, we tried that, it did not work. And that's why we're not doing it.
Yeah, no,
Because the software didn't talk right, the people
But this
had to learn
might give us
different
another
words.
avenue of getting work in the back end only.
Mhm.
I know she's real stressed about putting all this data in, almost too much, so
Mhm.
instead of pacing herself, I
Mhm.
could talk to her, you could see that she's like on a mission, and she's like, but it's not in there, I need, she's like, well, doesn't we have to do it today?
Mhm.
She doesn't wanna pace herself, she's, by her mental thought process, she just wants to get it all done. And, sometimes to the detriment of other things, it's very hard, so,
That's a great plan. I really like it.
I think we can probably work with that. I would say that that would be, since it's not a position that's filled yet, she's gonna be devastated. But hopefully we can get her, to feel better about the fact that, like, okay, but the payments will be taken mostly
A lot of it.
out of your hands, you won't need to worry about that. And then we'll have additional help, like, in a month or so with the other deal.
Yeah, you set it up, you just have her, hey, link it to the website and just click the pay. You know, and then she's just providing tech support and
So
that's.
if we make that change, where are we?
Okay, hold on, I have to refresh.
And I sent that email to you, but it's got a link in it that says it's expired because it's 10 days old, I guess.
Okay,
Did you download it?
I've requested another.
Oh,
like, is the contact information for the company in there too? If not, will you
It's
send
not
it
a
to me?
person, but the other's not really, just the name of the company.
Is in a phone number? Permission from council. What's the name of the company?
It's Tyler Technologies. I mean, they're the biggest city accounting software in America.
I would recommend.
I mean, I want him to do it. I was out. Can we just do that on the fly, or do we do that in a motion, and the proper agenda?
For what?
I would say.
To
you can
designate
apply
Cory
since
as
it's
the one to
part of
help
the-
us.
And he won't be taking final action other than what's already been.
So the council can- Then, what, I'm sorry, Mayor, I asked the attorney that, so, sorry. With regard to him talking to a vendor, as long as the council's all aware, then as long as he's not taking action, we can all nominate him to be the, liaison.
All right,
I don't think there's much to do, but the right.
We all say that, and then there's someone,
Light these people up and get them to get this thing launched. This
yeah,
is-
you guys for it. Most of mine came through franchising, so
Yeah.
I walked into a box I had what I would like to
I've
know.
done it a lot of, but if we need to, authorize me to, I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah, no, just,
Call them,
yeah.
what is the status? What do you need from us? What do you need to do? How long is this gonna take? I just wanna gather information and I will
Yeah.
come back to council.
Yeah.
And I will tell you all what I hear, what I'm able to pull out of these people.
And if there's some way that we can help you, we'll help you.
Yeah, it's cool.
okay, now I just need this. I'll get into this first.
Is Mike asleep?
Do you have
No,
it?
he's moving around, he's not watching them.
I know it's.
No, I've been watching them.
Is he okay? Yeah, it's he's blinking.
Please tell me.
We're just trying to see if you're awake, Councilman McLeod.
What's that?
We were just trying to see if you were awake.
I'm awake.
Okay,
I'm awake. I'm here. I'm listening.
all right.
So with the payment system that Mari is gonna work on, so current people that have tickets could pay, and how does that affect the past due warrants that
It
we're
does,
trying to?
it's not related.
That's a whole separate.
That's a whole separate thing, but the
One of the
more of
reasons they-
those, the more of those we get into the system, then we get money on the back end for them. So paying someone to put all of that into the hands of collectors who then go get money and give us a portion of what they're able to collect, that actually
It's a win-win.
is a smart
And don't
thing.
forget, a lot of people have come here and just said, it's too hard, and they just walk away.
Yeah.
The easier you make it, they're just gonna pay.
I was just saying. we-
You're gonna lose 10 or 15% or haven't paid just because they've had to come in person.
Yeah.
And they don't wanna give a credit card or
We're
the
gonna-
phone, or they don't have a credit
we're
card.
gonna make them pay.
Anytime you make it hard, they'll find an excuse.
Yeah.
You find an excuse not to do it.
They still have to pay it.
Well, unfortunately, the work to get it now becomes infinitely more difficult. You wanna make it as easy as possible.
Are we still saying that we are at 648, 464?
We haven't done anything to revenue.
Right, so, that can be. Because if that didn't change, then we're like going more to that. So I'm thinking I've got something I need to fix. Just, How do you want that? Oh, cause I didn't refresh something, alright,
Did it?
yeah,
So the payroll total should be now 479. When you refresh,
should be what,
the payroll total should be 479.
479? Oh, payroll,
Payroll, just payroll, sorry.
no, that was my brain.
It's okay. It's okay.
So.
Then don't forget, we have to take out the 20 and the 6 on those two lines. 6120 and 6130.
$61.20 and $61.30.
Let me, you do the payroll, right?
Yeah. So in here. Yeah, that's 14, that's correct. And, yeah, that's right. That's still right.
Did you change the hours? Up top, Yeah, so you drop that to 22, okay. Okay, that's perfect, that's why I wanted to do the update, so that's why I'm off, you're perfect. But now
But
we
then,
have to move that to the expense table.
I did,
All of them, or did you have the main?
no, I just did them in the column where they belong, like, right here. Ever ordered. Oh, yeah, I did them both. Love you.
Thank you.
So that one. Double check, I did it correctly. And then. Yes, that's still correct. That one went down to 103. Yes, that's correct, and then court. Yes. Okay. Oh, here's. And
It's 20, yes, it's actually.
so what should that be, is that right? 14, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay,
Yeah, because you got it linked over, so you're perfect. Yep.
All right.
Remember, that's what we were trying, using the chair and link it, so you don't have to
yeah,
keep copying and pasting it. That was the
Yeah.
problem, you start doing these things that are in two different locations, and one's updating one, updating the other. If you don't use the pointer, then you forget to you forget a step. And then you boo-boo, and then
Yeah.
you're off.
Cascades.
Yeah, cascade, exactly. Exactly.
so.
In the raw data, the other one is taking out the 6 and the 20, so that's 6120. Count number in the raw data.
For. Which,
Expense,
I already did that,
you did the 20 and the 6, it's 6120.
double check.
Little bit.
Oh, that's what you were
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, but you were doing the payroll, and I realized you were doing the payroll, I need to shut up.
Okay, wait, so
Sorry.
then that's down here somewhere in utilities. Right, or in transfers? It's in a weird.
Just go control F and then.
Oh, fine, okay.
6120.
It's, but there's more than 161.20.
What's this? Go find all. And it'll be that first one, so just close that. And then there it is,
But it's not,
there's your raw data.
but that's not, but we didn't,
Yeah, we did, we agreed to take it out of the budget, and you're
you're
Sorry.
right.
you're still thinking of payroll.
Oh my God, I'm on payroll in the brain. Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it now. I found the error. And so now if I refresh it, it should go
Yeah,
back.
go back to
how
the
it's
expense, and it should be,
Okay, so now that one can refresh it. try that. Yes, 653, right?
Yeah, and double check the payroll. You never write that, so you can just see the payroll.
Oh,
Cause you always wanna check that, that's the one that loses the links, you know, cause there's so many lines on it. That's the one you want always, that's the one that's the easiest to boo-boo,
so, wait, then,
5K,
right?
5K?
Yeah, that's.
so we're down 5K still?
That's effectively balanced.
That is,
The problem with the budget is it's a guess as to what reality is gonna be, and reality is gonna be different.
But still, you need to guess to a balance.
Yeah.
the issue is, I think we all know that there is going to be some sales tax revenue coming in the back end on this adjustment. We're a little, we all agree that we're maybe a little over on the interest income, but not by more than $5,000. And if this goes earlier than later, then we could be 10,000 in the good. Cause it's a roughly 1,500 to 1,700 a month
Right.
is what we're losing based on that spreadsheet that Jared showed us before, the one that you guys downloaded. We figured it was roughly 15 to 18,000.
Come back,
I'm not-
I'm not done with you yet.
No.
Alright, so then over here, you said check that,
No,
check
right.
just the payroll,
Go to the pivot table that you have for the general fund and then break it down by the,
that one.
and then that way you can see if you can look up just
I-
the payroll. See, you can break it down by the,
Fund activity?
I'll tell you, you know,
I don't think I've ever known how to do that, that's a brand new thing I'm learning.
this is,
There's payroll and salaries, yes, I can do it,
yeah, I
I've got it, by Joe. It's right here,
so double check, that 465 is what's on your payroll tab. Then that's your double check, so there it is right there. So you're.
we did it,
Okay, so you're pretty.
teamwork makes the dream work. Alright, thank you.
The other
Mayor
reason I
Pro
think
Tem.
that you could increase sales tax is because we're getting $1,200 a quarter now in mixed beverage tax. That's not in Jared's estimates.
And if we would all agree to go out every weekend, and.
Do it.
No,
Recuse myself.
no, I would,
You don't own it.
no,
This is a lease or.
I would never suggest that. I would never suggest that. My thought was if we go out and physically help Ali with the labor to get his restaurant and liquor store going, we'll have even more liquor tax. People will buy whole bottles.
Well, that'll be sales tax, but still, yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
In the back.
So
in the
at a
front.
what I'm hearing is at a $5,000.
Oh, okay.
At a $5,000 deficit, the way the budget is defined, we are most likely breaking our pocket. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Because of the sale, because of the 1,200 a quarter.
Well, we could put that in as income.
That's what I'm saying. You put that in the sales tax line in your budget, you're balanced.
Well, let's do that.
In where, what?
So-
Data.
Hold on. I'll help, I promise. One
Yeah.
sec.
Sales tax is 4080.
Thank you. 40, hold on, it's coming, 4080, no, that's
No, it's
4080.
not really.
You're gonna have nightmares about this. I mean, maybe you already have.
40,
It's 40/40 on, no, it's 40/40 on the budget line.
Okay.
So you're adding,
40. Yep, municipal sales tax.
so how long have we been receiving that?
2 quarters in a row, we've received over $1,200.
So this year, our end of quarter projection is, our end of year projection is 80 grand. And for 2026, we put 55 grand.
Where 55 is the net because there's the write-off, so we all understand that, right? The 80 is
Who do you mean by we?
the council. So the gross amount received
Yes,
is then some of it's put up against the debt,
Okay.
And there's another debt we don't even quite understand completely. So,
So we're just saying add
So the-
$4,800 to beverage tax revenue, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was saying 5,000, whatever.
$5,000.
five is so much easier, so then I can just change it to a 6.
why don't you just change the whole budget from 587 to 60,000 and just leave it like that,
I think that's what she's saying.
right?
Yeah,
So 40 to 60 grand.
But with the 20,000 for the fire hydrants, if we didn't spend, if say we spent 16 instead of 20, then would that 4,000 balance out too, out of the?
That would
No, because we would.
No, it's not in the
Oh, that's right, we're not
Because
putting that in
it's
the
not
budget.
Capital
It's not in the general fund anymore.
It's
gonna be out.
The capital.
It's gonna be on long term.
So we just wouldn't spend as much out.
We'd have more money remaining in the long term.
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Begin working it out.
and so then,
Sounds
that
like
means
government
this
should-
would change, but I have to refresh it. Okay, so that puts the revenue at 652,876. Is that accurate to the best of anyone's?
652,
652,876.91.
yeah, that sounds right.
Alright. Then I will do my best not to go lay in this. 80.
Did you say go lay in the street?
Lay in the street on 80, dressed in black.
Oh, Lord, please don't do that. And you'll be a speed bump. I'll be the car.
Excellent. And don't forget to back up and go again. You don't want any uncertain outcome. All right. So now where are we? Now it's happening?
Balanced.
Okay,
Should be really,
Our humor should
you should
all
be
be balanced.
really close,
okay.
really close. This is what we did every year with you, okay, sure. Right, you remember? We just, okay. 100, 200, just.
Now it's looking better and.
No, but I'm glad you see it so clearly, so you can explain it to me, because I initially did not, but it really helps when y'all talk about it.
It helps with you. You have to spend some time on the spreadsheet, you really, I mean, you really have to.
Figure out.
CML has some really good videos too, that like go through all of what goes into which budget category and like.
Believe me,
how
I've
to
watched
put together.
those.
That's a whole other animal for me, I just know. I can just look at numbers and tell you when they're wrong, just, I've always can do that.
I just think
So
Excel,
you're gonna
I just-
update that and tell us where we are?
I just think
Yes, I
Excel,
did.
my gosh, it's crazy.
And he said he thought those, my numbers are the same. So we got 4. Oops. Okay, wait, now I wanna take that one off again. Okay, so our total revenue data is 653,036.12.
Yeah.
Give them the old 1, 2. And our expense are. It's on fun.
You're saving as you go, right?
Nope, I'm running with scissors, she's trying.
653.
653,036.17, wait, that's the one I just did.
Yeah, that sounds,
Wow,
that would be
that's excellent.
balanced.
Good job.
Yeah, that's thoroughly balanced. Okay, so then. What I meant to say is general operating.
That's it,
What is it?
well, this isn't revenue, you need to go trends.
We need expenses.
Revenue.
general operating, general operating.
G3.
G3.
Oh, shit.
And that will give us,
First two numbers have gotta be 6.5.
yeah,
And you just updated.
general
That's right.
operating.
I just refreshed it. Oh, did it?
Anybody wanna take a
Oh, you're
chance?
gonna
on
really
that?
like this. You ready?
I'm ready.
465, 484.
What? 465, 484.
That's all right.
Oh, and 468 was revenue, right? No, 448?
450.
No, revenue's
Or
448, right? Revenue's always been 448. So I'm sorry. So
Revenue is now 653. Because we added the sales tax. For the liquor.
well, only $4,800. Oh, I'm sorry. So anyway, revenue is now what?
653.
653. The expenses are what? What are expenses?
we're looking. Yeah, but that's the one, that can't be right, cause I haven't been using D3. That's the one that has the wrong number, hold on. Let me just get her done.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm just gonna make a new one, cause I.
Don't be worried about the revenue.
I can't update it on mine.
Oh, okay, it's this one. Refresh on. So. General operating. Oh, wait. Item. If at first you don't succeed, make an input table.
Pivot table. You know how to do pivot tables?
Me.
Alright, I knew it wasn't you, but I'm already, you've already
So we're gonna do.
showed me disdain for those.
I used to know how to do pivot tables, I haven't done them in a while.
My problem is I was around when Excel first came out and I took like every class there was and became an expert, but
Now it's changed.
now it's changed.
Yes, it just makes it easier. Before you'd have to take the raw data and you break it down multiple times. Now you can literally never touch the raw data. That's what's so beautiful about it. You're not making that error. It's like it was so easy to make errors before. Hey, look,
Yeah,
I'll stay away till you're.
no, it's, I don't care. So why does it keep coming up with the same exact number? But then it should not be that. It should be its own number. It has the 653,03617
For revenue or expense?
for, I'm on expense data.
And what's revenue?
650.
653,
653 what?
036.
Exactly the same number?
That's why there's a problem. There's a problem.
I thought before you were like 5 cents off, that it was 0.12 and 0.17.
This is revenue. And so under my revenue, you see, gentlemen and ladies, I have 652,876.91.
652,876.1, that's gonna be less than the grand.
These, guess we got some base.
Yeah, that's right. That's the expense one,
That's going to be less than.
and that's the revenue.
Okay. That's the difference.
How many council members does it take?
Something like $300.
How
How much is it? 300?
Cities, lucky they don't pay us by the hour.
They're lucky they don't pay us at all. Then we really couldn't balance.
$876 minus 653,036 equals $160.
All right, we're $160 off.
Take it out in expenses.
Over.
We're running $160.
I'll give you,
Right.
I'll give you $1, say.
And I get $159.
I can't give you that. We could do a bake sale.
I will definitely bake.
Yeah, put that in the miscellaneous revenue line.
I'm all for it.
$250 in this revenue fund, and let's do it. Citywide bake sale.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that too. Daniel,
What line item
let's
is that?
do it in the
Miscellaneous. Miscellaneous revenue.
beautiful fall.
Citywide bake sale.
It'll be the
What line would that be?
fall.
All right, I'm gonna send this out to everyone just so Matthew can tell me tomorrow that everything's wrong and.
Golly, Matthew.
Well, not because of you, just because like you found something that
No, I've been doing it on my sheet at the same time. I feel pretty good about this, okay?
All right,
I feel
All right.
It's line
Just hit the
44.99.
pay button.
Okay, so 44.99, we can add whatever we want to miscellaneous money. In the,
We're gonna.
On the revenue side.
You gotta remember to do a bake sale.
right now, look on your computer and see if it's in the share thing. I think I had put it in the wrong place at the share thing, but I think it's there now.
Yeah, cause I looked, I looked
Yeah, I
at-
saw the screenshot and I was so confused.
I know, cause I'm really bad about the share stuff.
Yeah, me too. I can't figure it out. how to do
Okay,
it.
there is a final draft for council that was updated 5 hours ago.
Is there one that says final draft for council FY 26 council meeting in all caps?
No, that was not in here yet.
Do you need to refresh something? Do I need?
I'm going to, but
Let's see, save
Yeah, that.
it.
see, what's really
Slow in
cool
here.
about the shared is that you could share it and
Here.
then don't let
General,
people mess with it,
There.
you know, they can only view it,
save.
which is.
I know, Tiana said,
That's what I do. That-
She said I should have done that because then we
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have 29 different
Yeah,
versions.
no, I had this, I had the same problem, they've got one employee who doesn't know what they're doing, and then they, hit the keyboard by accident. The
Okay.
formulas are gone.
I
I wanted to
just
save
saved
all the
it
formulas.
again, check and see if it's there, cause I need to know if I know how to do this or not. Maybe I don't know how to do it. Probably not. It's probably not that. It should say, oh yeah, it has all those little faces on it, the little people's heads, there's lots of people's heads here, so I think it's shared. I think that's. Yeah, general, it's in general in City of Martindale. How about that?
I'm waiting. Trying,
It's just,
I'm just hitting shared and
It's just,
It is shared to him, right? Cause I know that one's only, it's like a private group, like staff.
It should have, I don't know.
what's the name of the file?
Final draft for council FY 26, council meeting version, 9/29/25. And there's no way to do refresh on the drive itself?
It just takes its time, I wouldn't worry about it too much, you know, just refresh itself. See, cause you're.
Look at how to do this.
Oh,
That's a good one.
It was spiritual. Okay, it was right before. Okay, so what do we need to do now?
Vote on the budget.
I have no idea, I'm at a loss. We need to,
Where are we on the agenda?
the very first thing.
Okay, did we add the $250?
to what?
To the miscellaneous revenue for the bake sale. Deanna, you have to remember to give us a date for the bake sale. Look on the city council, on the city calendar.
We can probably put it up
You
there.
gotta put it up here.
Pick a Saturday.
Yeah.
4760 is another miscellaneous revenue.
4760?
Yeah, but what
Said-
what group is that?
Under
It's under
revenue.
4750 miscellaneous, it's there with restitution.
Yeah, but
Does
that's.
it go under business activity or does it go, no, that's the. Okay, so. It could go under miscellaneous revenue. Oh, here, property and merchandise.
That was a sale of property, no, that's.
I have to work every second Saturday, so we'll make it on the second Saturday of the month.
No. What was the account number?
You have to work every second
First time?
Saturday?
The first one.
The first
third
one
Saturday.
was 44.99.
Fifteenth of October.
That works.
Oh, yeah, miscellaneous charges for services, it's really good,
That's,
but
that's like, police reports, stuff like that. Here's
it's
something from,
technically a good, not a service, but we could charge for our bacon
here's something from
services.
the SARA, you know, that's the developers where they paid for recording their plat.
How about miscellaneous revenue other,
Yeah,
4,600,
Miscellaneous than other,
4,600.
that's like, that's so redundant.
Well, that's the header, that's not usually, well, you can still put it there, it'll still show
Yeah,
up.
it'll still show up,
It'll still show up.
it counts, in fact, look, we've had things there before.
Then from 24. Yeah, because they didn't have any everything was in one, back before.
No, because look at, right here, there's one,
As
and
a,
there's
as
one,
a just quick
225.
cut
There
in,
was no-
Love our-
one's below,
for city
one's
fundraising,
below.
typically it's a specific item. So you're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna specifically fund, not your general fund, because general funds are typically accounted for taxes. But if you figure out something that's particular,
Office supplies for the city.
Oh, like that, is that what you mean by specific? What do you mean, give me an
That's-
example of specific.
parks or things of that
Parks
nature.
are their own budget, right? We would want, that's a great idea, I understand the idea.
So yeah,
We
so
wouldn't
it's
do
like a
parks.
specific, you're
We would
towards a
do
purpose
what
opposed
do
to like a
people
general
care
fund
about?
is
They-
what's typically accounted for in a fundraising effort.
Can it be office supplies like Mark said, or is that?
No, that would be silly. We can't be.
But that's an expense
Oh, the
line,
bake
that's
sale's
not
not
an
silly,
income line.
okay.
How about,
So yeah, I would just keep that in mind, that it's generally not a general
Well,
fund
before-
situation, but something
Shall
that's,
is the-
What if we just go door to door and pass that out?
pass that hat, no, we still would have to have something more paid, where,
I like
where,
Bake sale.
What we're raising money
What are we gonna
for?
call it? Where are we gonna put it?
It's the citywide bake sale.
he's already got it down.
for your libraries or things like that.
where is it? Oh, on the 18th of October,
Yes.
good.
I don't think it can benefit the library.
Can it benefit, the intergovernmental fund?
No,
No,
it's
no,
really
no.
Important.
bureaucratic.
How about, could it benefit our credit card usage fees? Maybe I could have one after that. One for the city, one for me. How about,
Well, since Sam always brings cookies, maybe we should put it in the park fund.
And we don't use the
I'm
property.
just kidding.
I like the idea of it now.
I was just
It's
kidding.
restricted.
I know, I know.
What about roads?
I wouldn't know.
What about roads?
oh, we could do it for roads.
Yeah, but we don't have a revenue, what revenue line are you gonna use it? Cannot do it in an, I don't believe.
We were gonna
Can
break
we
these
do
down.
it under special revenue?
We can put it under miscellaneous other, right? It just has to be raised for a certain function.
How about miscellaneous
Yeah.
revenue,
What if it's
grants
like
and
the budget, I'm not
contributions?
sure. We'll have to come back on this, so we'll come back on this on, well, I guess it's the
We
18th.
have a meeting on
This
Thursday.
second, but that agenda's already posted.
Oh, right.
Yeah, cause you're going to have to make findings that you're gonna have to make findings.
Alright,
What
just,
kind of findings?
how much
Like
do you,
in your whereas clauses for how,
$160.
what you're collecting and what the purpose is and how it's gonna be utilized.
Drop supplies
All right.
$160.
Can't we do it under grants and contributions? That's under miscellaneous
Just drop
revenue.
supplies $160. And we'll scrap.
More.
We'll scrap.
No,
we can still have the bake sale, but we're not gonna,
yeah,
let's just,
but then we don't have to have a whereas.
exactly.
I like
Exactly, so we
Okay.
need an expense.
So we're not dropping the whole baby and bathwater.
Okay.
Leave it there.
There's so few line items here that are.
I know.
Okay,
So we
so
need to
then
do-
we're just gonna take it out of our expense data for. She doesn't understand why Dan thought it was a good idea for her to start coming.
You trying to figure it out, are you?
I should figure it out.
Alright,
Yeah.
so
He couldn't handle it.
he's like, He's like, you better.
I would shush.
Oh, Dan will be back on Thursday, by the way, because this young woman, this fine young woman has a birthday party in New York City.
Wow.
Get a room.
Well, just because you want to be in New York rather than Martindale, I guess I won't blame you.
I turned 30.
Oh.
Nice.
You're still a spring chicken, believe me.
Spring. I'm still looking for,
Office supplies, line 5810.
I am so close, look at that.
Take $160 out of line 58.
Alright.
We were under or over.
We are under by $160.
Okay.
So we are running a deficit by $160.
Well, you
Not for me,
reduce,
because we're having a bake sale.
so we're gonna reduce this to 160 minus 6,500. 6,500.
What? Where did that number come from?
Well, that's what I have on my line from that report from a long time ago. Line 5810 under,
Under general
Government.
government.
yeah, 01, yeah. I show the budget was 6,500 in expenses.
You're talking about the line of 6,500. So we're taking 100 and
6340 is the new number.
6340. Alright, good. There we are.
We're doing pennies.
Life is good.
And we're just pennies.
You're not gonna lay out in the street?
The night is still
I
young.
think my wife left.
I think she did too.
Alright,
Just for the night.
so if that's done, then I just update this one, refresh. Lord have mercy. And then are we okay now? Two. Refresh. What did we change, 52 something? It should have been in revenue.
You know, we did expense. You changed 5810. Which is one number.
That's in all of it. Then why didn't that? They changed for that. 58. Okay,
Should have the right. Is it the right one there?
That's not-
No, that's website services.
but that's not the one I changed.
It is. It's 6340 was 6,500 before. Yeah, that's the one you changed.
I'm certain it's going to find out. Oh, 16, that, no, that, don't take it out of the top, the counting number.
It's now 5810.
5, 0,
8.
5, 8, 1, 0. Five, 8, 1, 0, office supplies, 6,300.
6340, yeah. 6,300 is fine. Same difference, 200 better than we do that.
All right, Lord have mercy.
And now we go pivot, pray, and a base.
That's exactly right, pivot and pray. I should make that as a new t-shirt. Pivot and pray. All right,
Who gets to do the budget gets a shirt, you know, we're getting.
Right on.
Pivot and pray.
You'll have to do the pivoting, I'll have to do the praying, because I don't think I know how to do the pivoting.
so the general operating then 52,836, does that sound right? 652,836.17.
So it came down $50,
Should have come down more than that.
didn't it? We were at We were at 652, 876.
No, and it's 8:36, yeah, so it's
But
Big down
we
to
changed that to
$40.
$100.
$40. $40.
I didn't know that.
I'm telling you, try the Oreo. Yeah, I'm telling you, it tastes just like an Oreo, I promise you.
It does, I will
The
second
revenue's
that.
fine.
I have had it before.
He's good.
I will second it for sure.
And if you don't like Oreos, then you wouldn't like it, but they're good.
I'll do this. Why?
Payroll's right, but updated the payroll.
We all say prayer right now, make it work.
The revenue's below, yeah, you're good.
Okay,
You're six
So now-
652, 836 is your expenses.
so now why don't we deal with, agenda item number 1 and
So you
make a motion to ratify the budget.
It's under revenue. Yes, it's under revenue. All right.
Then shall we motion, I will motion on 1.1 to adopt the amended budget.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Maury, Mike's gotta get on.
Aye.
Oh,
He said aye.
Thank you, Mike.
so did you
Opposed,
get the
no,
vote?
motion carries. 1.1 is done.
All right.
Good. 1.2, motion to ratify the property tax increase proposed in the budget.
Yeah, so last time we just, made a motion to accept the tax rate as an acceptable proposal, from my understanding. And now we actually have to say we are adopting that particular tax rate.
No, we're not adopting the tax rate yet.
No, we're not.
Still under the budget provision.
We're under budget.
And it requires, it's silly because you will be adopting the tax rate shortly. A ratification of the tax rate as reflected in the adopted budget.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve to approve the ratification of the property tax increase proposed in the 2025-2026 budget beginning October 1, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026. Do I have to read the rest of that, or are we good?
You're good.
I'll second that.
oh, all in favor?
Aye.
It passes. No, it was unanimous.
Okay.
We don't need it.
doesn't that have to be roll call?
Does it?
I thought the tax rate did.
We're not doing the tax rate.
It's not tax rate yet.
Oh, we're getting-
It's still
that's
budget.
next. That's
And we
next.
have to- the next one is the tax rate, and that one does have.
1.2 is done. 1.3.
Okay, I make a motion.
No, hold on. No, okay, can we take a brief recess because I need to get clarification for the purposes of the ordinance
Oh,
with, Mayor and Dwayne, as y'all are working on it. and
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
so if we can just get a recess time.
Yes, for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe less. Okay.
Recess time.
Five
You said
recess
at 8:48?
at 8:48 PM. All right, what's the problem, what's the question?
Okay,
What's the issue? Dwayne did it.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
What's the question?
1 second, 1 second. I don't know.
We don't know.
She doesn't.
On the left. No?
My mom.
Did I have nothing at all?
She said this is just more than any mother can bear.
It's probably been that way a while, hasn't it?
Okay,
So
are we back in?
You back on
Yeah.
1.3?
Okay, and we're back in order at 8:50. And we're making a motion, what?
So we're gonna have a couple of motions for this. The tax code requires separate components done separately. After our very brief discussion, we don't have an interest in sinking amount, so it's gonna be a 0% rate allocation. So we're gonna do a motion on, a allocation of 3101 to maintenance and operations, and we'll pass that. We'll do a motion on a 0 allocation to interest in sinking. And then we'll do the final motion, which is the motion as it's reflected in the agenda with that very specific language. So we'll do those 3 pieces.
Okay,
So we'll do the maintenance and operations, which is the full tax rate, the 0 for the interest in sinking, and then the tax rate motion as listed in the agenda.
Okay, it's interest and what was the second word?
Sinking.
Sinking.
Yes,
Sinking is 0. We have no debt.
yes.
That's 0.
So yeah, it's just those 3 separate ones, because the tax code does require them to be separate.
okay,
And then your final motion with since we're raising
And
those,
what,
yeah,
what is the first motion?
Okay, so we make a motion that we set the M and O rate
yes,
at 0.3101, and I do know by heart.
Yes.
because Deanna now knows. And that's the end of the motion.
that's the end of that motion.
Okay, so
Let's do that one. Let's do that.
okay,
I make a
all in
motion.
favor?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I make a
second.
motion, I need a second.
Second, I'll second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Right, you said aye.
Okay, then we'll need the interest in sinking at 0.
I make a motion that the interest in sinking be set at 0.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pass.
Okay,
Next,
Okay, and now the motion as it's written in.
I have to do the quoted section, right?
Correct.
I make a motion that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of tax rate of 0.3101%, which is effectively a 4.06% increase in the tax rate. Tax code 2605 B11 and the ordinance resolution and type. Yeah, okay, that's all I gotta say, right?
I'll second that.
Yeah, you read it exactly as.
Yep.
except you have to say this tax rate will raise.
Oh,
Yes, you do have to write.
okay, this tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operation than last year's tax rate.
Okay, I'll second that.
Wait,
And
Sheesh.
the tax rate will effectively be raised by 4.06% and will raise taxes for maintenance and operations on a 100,000 home by approximately $40. End quote.
I'll second that.
and then may we have a vote, all in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed?
That's
No,
not the roll.
no, we need a vote.
Now we need the roll call.
Yeah.
Now we need a roll call vote, people.
Okay,
Terry Werner,
yes, aye.
Matthew,
Yes.
Maury,
Aye.
Sam,
Aye.
Mike,
Yes.
um,
Say yes with your camera on.
oh, say yes with your camera on.
Yeah. Can you hear me, see me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're good, thank you. All right, and now what? And now are we good with that?
We're done.
Okay, yay, yeah. Did it. Okay, now, next one is consider the appointment of Greg Hudson as the interim consultant city administrator to begin immediately with the resignation of Javier, oh, well, that part, blah, 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 blah. Does anyone have a discussion on that?
How did you change could you refresh us again about how you changed his hourly
We
rate?
cut his, we left the hourly rate the same because it's what we paid, Dwayne. And they're equally qualified for their positions. Then we dropped Greg Hudson from, in the end, it started at 28 hours and ended at 20 hours a week. That is what happened. Other discussion, comment?
Is the length of time that we're thinking that will be part of, will be working for?
We haven't fleshed that out yet because I wasn't even sure
6 months?
whether he would get approved or whatever.
Are we thinking 3 months, 6 months? What's in the budget? How long?
Well, the budget
Oh,
is
the
like,
budget is him all year,
Is-
because we're assuming his replacement's gonna come on at the same rate.
that is, replacement will do at least 20 hours and
But I
need,
mean, the budget reflects.
yeah,
that, and we might do better with the Jared
Yes.
candidate or something like
Yes.
that.
The city can modify the budget during the course of the.
So it really doesn't, it's sort of.
Yeah.
So when you hire someone, you
Budget
modify the
neutral
budget.
when the
If you
person-
hire someone and say, okay, that person, no. You modify the budget, say that role, because it's an officer, has to be set by the budget, then the council has to vote on that and modify the budget accordingly. And we've done that before, actually.
yeah,
a
you
couple
can
years ago.
modify the budget as many times.
We did it because we brought someone on, so we got a break, we gave Adrian a raise, so we had to modify the budget in the middle of the year.
Okay.
You know,
I think getting somebody in with a lot of city experience could really help us. I think what's critical to the budget is making sure that their replacement is also at least budget neutral or
Or
less,
saving.
or savings than what is currently in the budget. But I think we would really benefit by having somebody with this experience to set this place up for it. That's my thought on it.
And, Sam,
So if we have him for 20 hours a week, then it's in the budget to where we would continue to have the new person working at that many hours, or could it be increased to 28? something?
yeah, depending on who that new person is, if, like, let's say they don't have the same kind of, experience, the same level of experience, we might pay them less per hour, but more hours. You know, we can kind of, basically, at that point, you have a budget number, and you can redistribute it however you want, and say like, less money, more hours, same money, less hours.
Is the money that we're paying to the law firm that we currently have, is that considered a payroll expense?
No. That's a consultant.
That's a consult, and that's a whole separate,
that's not even in the budget, we're just, well, we're using payroll.
We have legal services in the budget.
Yeah.
We do, it's in the budget.
Yeah, 24,000. We spent 4,000 last month. This was, but that, some of that work was beyond really legal, so some of that would be consulting for developing group and other, I know some other stuff, but that's beyond really legal. It's more,
Yes, that's what we were trying to.
it's more administrative
Yes,
expense, just like the money they're charging to help write the tree ordinance, if you will, it's called the environmental ordinance, but
Yeah.
I call it the tree, you and I call it the tree, but it's the environmental ordinance. So we're paying them to do that, that's obviously at a consulting basis. That was quite high, obviously. Hopefully,
well, we didn't pay them to write it. At this point, we only paid that, Jared wrote it. All we did was, we send everything to the attorney to review. And, so then the attorney said, actually, we probably wanna have the city planner look over this and just give some recommendations, cause there's some bald spots in it. So they just put their comments in, but they're gonna do that to any ordinance we write, just like Kent was supposed to review all of our ordinances. So that's not different. I mean, they didn't write it.
okay, I understand, but when we expense that, is that being expensed under legal, or is that being expensed?
It's being expensed under the city planner, and she's $50 an hour. She's not an attorney fee. The attorney.
I meant in the budget, I meant, how is that expense in the budget?
Oh, there's only one budget item line, and that's for legal services. Yeah, but we probably should break that out separate. Yeah. I see what you're saying about that.
Because, yeah, you know what I'm saying, it's not technically
You're right.
legal service, because I signed a check the other day, or it's been a couple weeks, it was for $4,000 for August.
Mhm.
And a lot of it, some of it was for the reviewing of that, and the rate on that was expensive, that was over $150 an hour.
That means that an attorney is
So,
the one that did that. not the-
but it was a lot of, there was quite a few hours on that one. And that's what I'm concerned about is, using them as an outside reference without really looking at a budget standpoint. I'm afraid that can be snowballed very quickly,
Sure.
you know,
Absolutely.
and obviously
And
when
when we have an administrator, we won't need to do them nearly as much.
I talked to the gentleman Greg about that, and it was, you know, he's written them, but that's not, we'll see whether that's really his forte per se, he's not. I didn't get that
that was his real thing per se, but I'm a little concerned about that portion of expense going forward with the city is, gonna be a problem.
Well, that portion, I mean, anytime you have an ordinance, it has to be legal. So it has to go through the attorney, and that has nothing to do with the city planner. Right, so what we did is took an ordinance that Jared wrote and gave it to them, and they just made some comments on it. So, they didn't write it, and at this point, they haven't rewritten it because it's never made it back since Sam started. Sam has not coordinated yet, he was trying to make all his changes, so he hasn't sent it back to them.
Well, and then two, because I gave a printed copy to every individual, is I'm waiting back to hear, okay, I like it as it is, or these are the changes. If you guys collectively could perhaps give that to me, I don't know, by the second, or put it in my box, the papers, then I could say I've collected all the information from other council members, and that's the final draft. So we don't wanna talk about that.
Greg,
Right, 'cause
let's
Yeah.
talk about Greg Hudson.
Yeah.
It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
9:30, everybody's gotta be out of here. I'm just saying.
I'm done already, dude.
Okay, so let's just have our conversation about Greg Hudson, let's gavel this thing out. So what do we wanna talk about Greg Hudson?
I think someone needs to say that we need to make a motion then on 1.4 to consider the appointment of Greg Hudson as the interim consultant for the city of Martindale to work 20 hours a week.
All right, because I get that, we discussed it, right?
yes,
All right, I second.
all right,
Let's discuss.
now it's open for discussion, does anyone have anything to say?
What is the process for the employment? Is he gonna make a presence to the council, or are we just gonna allow? How are we gonna go forward in the process? That individual?
That's a city official. It's like he has to come before you all to be.
Yeah.
And be voted in open.
My understanding is that since he's an interim, he doesn't have to, that when we hire the permanent person, he does. That person will have to. We can invite him to come before the whole council, and I'm fine with doing that, but my understanding from speaking with the attorneys was
So there
that.
won't be swearing in and all that.
No, I think you do have to do that, I think you do have to do that, you would still have to swear them in. I just think it's a different process for an interim.
Well, it depends if he's being appointed as an interim city administrator or if he's being appointed or hired as a consultant to fill those duties at that
Like the
time.
way we wrote it in the budget, because he's getting benefits, he would be the interim, is the way I understand.
Yeah,
So then, yeah, he would do a swearing in.
So,
so he would need to swear in, yeah, I would expect that he would have to if he's doing that job. So what is that, what are we saying? So then tell me more.
So you can appoint him and he can come in and be sworn in at the next meeting, and he can be sworn in, it doesn't necessarily have to be at a meeting, often it's at a meeting ceremoniously. But if you appoint him and he's established in that role, he's able to carry out those functions.
Okay. Yeah,
He's month to month, he's on a contract, he's at will. What's the?
everybody in Texas is technically, but, we can do a contract and set
Well,
that
no,
up.
I was just, what I was looking for is flexibility in case he comes in and he's not
He reports. to
helpful.
council.
right,
Yeah, he reports to council.
so I would suggest we schedule him to come to a council meeting, then it would do the full interview, and then with the pretense of the assumption that he would be sworn in.
My understanding, and I might be wrong, but the attorney can correct me, is that, cause I made sure to ask all of this before we started the conversation. That because he's an interim, I can appoint him, council has to approve him just like we would have done with Hobby. but he doesn't have to go through an interview process such as that. We can have him definitely come to the meeting, but I would like us to vote on this. And then he can come to the meeting. Everyone has had now 3 opportunities to already meet with him in person or by Zoom or by phone call. So, yeah, I would be more than happy to have him come to a meeting and talk to everyone and present what all he wants to do or whatnot. But we've really already had lots of opportunities to do that. So, given that he's only an interim, I am happy to have him come, but I really want to get this dealt with. It's not required that we follow the same process for an interim that you do for everyone else. It would be just like copied last summer.
So the appointment for your code of municipal officers, interim or otherwise, would be the mayor or acting mayor shall appoint a person to fill the vacancy subject to the confirmation. So that would be full-time or otherwise.
So you don't need to decide if y'all want her to appoint him.
Well, it means I did appoint him, but they have to confirm whether or not they're planning to accept that.
So it's more of a nomination, appointment is kind of loose, it's more nomination and confirmation. But I don't.
We already made a motion in a second, right? Or did we?
Yeah.
You can vote it down. I'm not seeing anything in your code that's requiring them to be physically standing in front of you.
That's what physically,
It's like
Standing
standing in
in
front
front
of
of
you.
I mean, the idea as you mentioned, is for him to be here at every city council meeting. That's what, I mean, you said he would come and introduce himself and all that, but once we nominate them, aren't we past that? I mean, he would come to the meetings
Yeah.
and such as that, and then.
Yeah, but the first meeting you can do, whatever, an introduction, a presentation, or, whatever.
Mhm. Answer question and answer.
Sure.
Like would we do that from just the council, or would it be from like a workshop with the city?
We can decide whatever we wanna do.
Okay,
I mean, if he's at a council meeting, it would just be a regular council meeting, you can do a presentation and have public comment and question.
But we've already appointed him though.
Mhm.
I mean, if we vote on it, we've already appointed him.
Exactly.
I don't.
I got one point. I mean, I just don't understand why we can't interview multiple candidates. We've always done that in the past.
Mhm.
You know,
Because
for Jared, for
interim
Tommy,
position,
for Bud, we've always
we will
interviewed
do
multiple
that much.
multiple candidates, and we haven't done that. So
Right, but
that's
we
my-
will
that's
do
my-
that.
can I speak, please? That's my major concern. We're not.
Uh-oh.
We lost you, Mike.
Muted.
You're muted, Tony. Probably.
You're muted, Mike. Yes, we can hear you
Yeah,
now.
We always in the past have had multiple candidates we interviewed. We've always done it that way. I'd like to have multiple candidates. That's my concern.
I understand that, that makes perfect sense to me, and I think for a permanent candidate, that's absolutely what we're
Yeah,
gonna do.
but Mayor, we haven't done it for the attorneys yet. We went through that process already, and we never had multiple candidates to interview. It's getting we're not following what we used to do in the past, and I have an issue with that personally. Well, I like to have multiple interviews and have multiple people to pull from. The guy seems very qualified. I will say that.
He is really qualified,
He
he's
is
more
a-
qualified than the other people we've had do this in the past.
I think it is very important that we do have an interim city administrator right now, because we are facing some serious decision-making processes going in through this next year concerning wastewater treatment plants, developments, code, ordinances. We have so many things now that have fallen behind the last few years that we are having a hard time enforcing our codes and or ordinance. We've made strides in streamlining the efficiencies of other employees, but right now, we need someone tomorrow, we need someone right now to help reduce the costs of the legal expenses that we're spending. And if we have someone such as Greg, it'll really start to get us to move on past certain things that have just stymied us from operating as a city to start to really achieve and make advances in making decisions, making more money, and we need that now. We need that right now. We don't need to wait and interview and talk to other people. We will be doing that immediately. As Mari said, we can put an ad in the Lockhart or in TML and start to interview people. Greg will help us do all of these things.
Mr. Clinton, we also discussed previously about having Mr. McGovern kind of come in and kind of help with the budget, which he's already done, and other issues, like the previous council back.
Mike, he can't do any
Can I
other
speak,
things.
please? Can I
He
speak?
cannot wear two hats, Mike. We cannot
Can I
have a
speak?
senior.
Can I speak, sir?
Yes, sir. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you. The Brandy Bunkers administration, the town was bankrupt, and they did that till they got their feet back on the ground. So I have a problem. I like to have multiple candidates, and I'll leave it at that.
Mike, he doesn't want to be here permanently. He doesn't want to be in any position permanently. You heard him say that. I heard him say that. Everyone has heard him say that. He doesn't want everyone who has taken the time to talk to him. He does not have any intention of being a permanent person, a permanent replacement. He's only trying to do a temporary job, and we need somebody immediately. We do plan to have a full-time person and a full search.
I do appreciate what we've learned in these past few months about legalese and legal process, and really just because something was done a certain way in the past or a few years ago doesn't necessarily mean that it was done the right way. I think by us analyzing these advances in how we're trying to move the city into the future is something that we need to do. And we need a city administrator. Jared was good, but he was not here long enough. We weren't accomplishing things. We had so many things. I had 2 pages of things that I mentioned that we didn't complete in the city, in the process of this city. So I want to see us move ahead, and so my motion still stands. It has been seconded by Mari, and unless there's any more discussion, I would like to see us vote on this. Is there any more discussion?
We've already got him budgeted, we worked it out where we can afford to have him. He doesn't wanna be here permanently. I have no intention of him being here permanently. He's only going to help us get the steam out of the pan. Right now, we're boiling over, and that may not mean much to y'all, but it means a hell of a lot to me every freaking day.
No, they're gonna burn her out.
It's already happening.
Well, is there any way we can discuss, like, depending on how long, I mean, if he's only gonna stay 3 months, why would we pay him benefits?
We just passed the budget, it's passed.
I gotcha.
We can adjust it, if he stays 3 months, we'll adjust it then.
Okay, it's just a question.
Great question. I don't understand how I can bring you a very well qualified person, give you multiple opportunities to meet with him and talk to him, explain that he only wants to be here short time. He's going to help us find and conduct a thorough search. What is the objection? How, it's in our budget, we already passed it. Why can't you give me one thing? I know you have the right not to. But why can't you just give me one thing? I don't understand it. I don't understand how it serves the city to have it in the budget and to have a very highly qualified city manager who could start tomorrow and just say no. No, why? Because, well, what are your reasons? What are you looking for that isn't what he's offering? He's short term. He wants to help us right now. We have the money in the budget. He has a resume you cannot complain about. When Mike met him, he liked him. Matthew said he didn't have a problem with him. Sam liked him. Deanna liked him. I liked him. I don't understand what the problem is.
And if y'all wanna bring those fees for city planning down, he's our answer, cause a lot of the times it's just questions of the process. It's not, we can't do the legwork, it's the questions of the process. And I think this man is offering a lot of qualifications for very little and he's promising a lot more for way less than others have promised the city.
I do appreciate your input on that. Yeah, the amount of money we spent on planning was, in August was over $4,000.
Because we don't have an administrator, we have no one who has that skill set. I'm just trying to get that person in here.
Yeah, the burnout is real every day.
I need help and I need it from someone who knows all of the whole entire job, not just budget. I know that you're really good with budget. I respect that and you have helped me a ton with the budget, but I need somebody that knows wastewater treatment systems and that knows all of the different permits that we need. We had to create new forms because we've had brand new problems that the city has not had before. We don't know how to do that.
And even though we had those problems before, they were butchered, extremely butchered. Looking back at them, doing all the cleanup is just outrageous. And finding out we had 4 grants when we have never even heard of them in the first place, that's pretty tough on staff.
Although, what was that?
So call a vote.
So the current situation of bandwidth in the city and expertise in the city is unsustainable. I don't think anybody thinks that the current situation is all right. So if it's not Hudson for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, what is the solution that council has to deal with the problems that we've got? It's not this guy for some interim period. What is the other short-term solution to get some help in here?
Right now, we don't have any other option. We have, I mean, there's really not, we don't have anyone else to interview, we don't have, there's really not any other option. You won't find it soon.
So I just don't know how we don't put somebody in here on a daily basis. I don't know how we make it children not to do that. we can argue about the length of time is here, we can argue about how quickly,
But we don't
what is
really know.
prioritized, what his priorities are for finding candidates and bringing them to us and vetting them and all that kind of stuff. I just don't know how we don't bring it in for some period.
We don't really know, Terry, you're right. We don't. And to do an entire search, and go out and find somebody, it's gonna be another 4 months.
Just that you're saying that, just hunting out for the utilities clerk was a journey.
And in the past 2 times that we have searched for that position, when Jared ran the search himself, he came up with 1 or possibly 2 candidates. He ended up saying only one of them was even qualified.
None of them wanted to.
So what is it that you think is out there under some rock that we can find immediately to get this thing going? It's going to take a long time to search unless we're just willing to put in anybody, and I'll tell you what, I'm not willing. I'm dying. I am not willing to put in another person that doesn't know anything about the job just so we can save money.
I don't think anybody's suggesting that.
That's all that's been out there the last 2 times that we have searched. This guy fell out of the sky. He was in a TML announcement thing that he was retiring. And he is the most qualified person we have ever talked to for this job.
Why don't we call the vote?
All right, let's call it a vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Mike,
I guess I hope it works out.
Yeah.
Dennis.
All right. A motion.
Y'all have a good night. I'm out of here.
Bye, Mike. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion that we adjourn at 9:22 PM.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I.
All right.